Hello dear students, welcome to our English lesson. Today we will continue our reading lesson from Module 3A Part 2. So please open your student book pages 34 and 35. In today's lesson we have three objectives. Number 1, identify the answers of 6 questions after scanning the text. Determine answers of a constructive response question. And lastly, examine 6 sentences to choose the most suitable vocabulary through context. Before we start our lesson for today, let's check out some interesting facts. Do you know the Hanging Gardens of Babylon were one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world? It was built around 600 BC. If you know any other fact not mentioned in your student book, write it down and share it with your friends or your teacher. Dear students, let's begin our reading lesson part 2. Before starting our lesson, I would like you to open your student book page 34 and read the text once again. You may pause the video for 3 to 4 minutes to read the text once again. You may pause now. Now please look at exercise C on page 34. Dear students, you will see 6 multiple choice questions in front of you. You will read the questions carefully along with the 4 options. I want you to pause the video for 3 minutes and highlight the key information in each question. You may pause now. Alright, let's check the highlighted key information. Now you will scan the text to find the correct answer. Make sure to highlight the part of the text that helped you derive the correct answer. You can stop the video for 5 minutes to complete the task and find out the correct answer. I'm sure by now you must have answered the 6 questions. Now let's check their answers together one by one. Starting with number 1. How did the writer react to his history teacher's lessons about the ancient Babylonians? And the correct answer is, he was amazed. This answer is evident in the first paragraph where the writer mentions his history teacher who was fascinated by the ancient Babylonians, which made the writer listen to him in wonder. So the correct answer is B. Now moving on to the second question, what does the word there in paragraph 2 refer to? And the correct answer is A. It refers to Hilla. In this question, you have to refer back to the sentence in paragraph 2 and read the sentence completely. I knew I had to find a way to get to Hilla, a town 500 kilometers away, and from there to make the short car journey to the famous ruins of Babylon. So, the correct answer here is A. Hilla. Now moving on to the last question. Who drove the writer to the ancient Babylon? And the correct answer is C. His colleague's uncle. Dear students, you will find this answer in the third paragraph where the writer states that his colleague spoke to his uncle, Mr. Rashid, about making necessary arrangements for their visit to Babylon. Moving on to the fourth question, what does the text say the Babylonians did much earlier than anyone else? And the correct answer is C. They constructed a tunnel under a river. Dear students, in the fourth paragraph, the writer was having conversation with his colleague's uncle, Mr. Rashid, who has great knowledge about the ancient Babylonians, and he said that over 3,000 years ago, they built 1 kilometer long tunnel underneath the Euphrates, which no other civilization had done before. Hence, the answer is C. Question number 5. What is mainly discussed in paragraph 5? And the correct answer is D. The time the men spent at the ruins of ancient Babylons. In paragraph 5, the writer talks about his activities such as seeing the copy of the famous Ishtar Gate, walking along the area for 2 hours and taking photos of things around. So, it clearly states that paragraph 5 talks about the time the men spent at the ruins of ancient Babylon. Lastly, question number 6. Based on paragraph 6, what type of person do you think Mr. Rashid is? The answer is quite evident in the last paragraph that he is a cat lover. In paragraph 6, the writer mentions that not only Mr. Rashid has a large collection of books, but also a large collection of very loud cats, which proves that he is a cat lover. Well done, students, you did an amazing job today. Now let's move on to the second objective of our lesson today. I'm sure by now you are well familiar with the text, so let's answer question D. Did the writer enjoy his trip to Babylon? What makes you think so? Dear students, you will pause for a few minutes, think of the answer, and write it down in your notebooks. Make sure to paraphrase the answer in your own words. You may pause now. Alright, if you got the answer, well done. But if you are still struggling, you may find the answer in this part of the text. I hope you all are ready now. Let's discuss the answers together. Did the writer enjoy his trip to Babylon? And the answer is yes, the writer enjoyed his trip to Babylon very much. Now let's justify the answer. What makes you think so? As I mentioned earlier that you will have to paraphrase the answer. We can understand this from the fact that he spent 2 hours at the site of the ruins of ancient Babylon despite the heat and took photos of almost everything he saw there, which is mentioned between lines 30 to 35. Also towards the end he says that the writer was very satisfied in line 36. Well done, students. If you got the correct answer, you are simply doing great. Moving on to our last objective, dear students, look at the vocabulary section on page 35. You will complete the 6 sentences with the words given in the boxes. Read the words carefully. They are also known as confusing words since their meanings are more or less the same. However, we use them differently in different situation or context. You will stop the video and try to choose the most suitable vocabulary after reading the sentences. Don't forget to highlight the key information or the keywords. You may also use your dictionary. So dear students, you may pause the video now and complete the task. Dear students, I hope it didn't take you long to answer. Now let's check them together. The 3 pictures below might help you relate. Let's answer the first sentence. Mr. Brown went to the building site to check the progress of the housing complex that was under construction. The context in this sentence that helped us identify the answer is building and the housing complex that was under construction. We can relate the first sentence to the first picture below. Site is basically a piece of ground on which something is built or something happens. Number 2, how many parks are there in your area? The context here is the word park, which is usually located in an area. An area is a specific part of a place, town, country, or the world. Number 3, if you want to open a restaurant, you should make sure that its location is close to public transport. The context here is to open a restaurant which is close to public transport. So, location here means a place or exact position. Dear students, in the remaining 3 sentences, we will make use of the clues. The 3 vocabulary here are landscape, countryside, and nature. Let's read sentence number 4. Ian is a nature lover. When he is not working, he often goes to the forest and spends hours studying plants and animals. The context here is quite evident. He goes to the forest and he spends hours studying plants and animals, which shows that he is a nature lover. Now, what is nature? Nature is all the animals, plants, etc., and all the events and processes which exist or take place independently of people. Number 5, I prefer to live in the countryside. It's much safer and quieter than the city. Here the context is quite evident that the countryside is safer and quieter than the city. So, countryside here is a land which is outside a town or city. And the last one, hills and trees were the main features of the landscape as we drove through the beautiful village. The context here is hills and trees, main features, and beautiful village. So what is landscape? Landscape is everything you can see in an area of land. I hope, dear students, these confusing vocabularies are clear to you now. You may stop the video anytime and go back to the previous slides to study them again. Now, to assess your understanding of the vocabulary learned, dear students, you will match the vocabulary to the correct meanings. You will pause the video for 2 minutes and complete the task. Alright, let's check your answer. Number 1, location. Location is in place or exact position. Site, a piece of ground on which something is built or something happens. Landscape, everything you can see in an area of land. And countryside is a land which is outside a town or city. Well done, students. Dear students, now please open your notebook and write sentences using the vocabulary we learned in today's lesson. Make sure to get your sentences checked by your English teacher once you are done. Goodbye, my lovely students. Have a wonderful day.